Burnout is no longer in your future, so let's talk about it. I am so excited for today's episode slash video because I'm starting a 5-part series called A Cozy Girl's Guide to Productivity, and I'm so excited because we all need to be productive, but we also need rest, and it's just a whole thing, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. We're no longer waiting to be productive later down the line, and we are no longer wishing that we were productive a few years back. We're starting right now. If you guys are new here, I'm so glad that this is the video that you stumbled across because I am starting some new stuff here, and I think it's the biggest thing that I'm doing in 2025 in terms of my content and everything. So if you've never seen me before, my name is Mikayla, and I am just a millennial girl that is an entrepreneur, content creator, small business owner, podcaster, wife, and so many other things. And I just want to document my journey and my life in that way. So for the first time, I'm announcing to you another Cozy Morning podcast where we will talk about all things cozy, embracing coziness, shifting our mindsets, and of course, making adulting fun again. You'll be able to listen and watch on YouTube and Spotify, but you'll also be able to listen on Apple. I don't know if they do the whole video thing or not, but we're going to have video on both Spotify and YouTube, and you can listen on Apple. So you have a variety of choices. I wanted you to be able to listen to this whenever and wherever you were in your day, even though it's morning time for me. Another cozy morning. Okay. Let's get into it. I want to start by talking about hustle culture. Hustle culture is a mindset that tells us that productivity is everything and rest is lazy, or rest is not an option. We're told at a young age that we need to go to school, get a job, work a good job, and we will see the fruit of our labor later in life. But what if we're way too tired to even enjoy that fruit of our labor later in life? Don't get me wrong, I believe in working hard and I believe in working efficiently, but I also believe in knowing when you've worked enough to rest and when you've rested enough to work. This is coming from a girl who has a tunnel vision as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, as a podcaster. I constantly have ideas and things running through my mind constantly, and when I get a good idea, I just want to stick right there. I don't want to go to the left, I don't want to go to the right. I want to stick right here until I see it in its full fruition, like it's 100% done. Like as soon as I get the idea, I need to figure out every aspect of it. But with that comes late hours of working. It comes with neglecting other things in my home. It comes with not being there for the people in my life, and that's not good. It's not good at all, and that is a part of that hustle culture that I'm talking about. So what does it mean to balance work and ambition and your tunnel vision with rest? The first thing you're going to do is be honest with your limits. Basically, what I do at the beginning of every week is I will write down everything that I want to accomplish that week, including work goals, including cleaning goals, including everything. And I will prioritize them from most important to least important. So for example, if I need to record a YouTube video, but I also got a nail order from my press-on business, do I do the YouTube video or do I do the nail order? And the priority should be the nail order because I am now providing a service to somebody else. YouTube will always be there, possibly. If you know, you know. With the whole TikTok thing, it just shows that we should probably have our avenues in multiple different things, but that's not for today's video. If I don't get to my YouTube video by Friday, I can always post on Saturday or Sunday. It does not have to be right then and there because YouTube is right here. With a customer, it's more of a time thing. I say that I'm going to have your product done in this amount of time and I need to have your product done in this amount of time. So it's okay. I know sometimes we prefer to do other things more than others, but set your priorities. Set your priorities. So you don't have to do everything at once. And once you figure out what your priorities are and you're honest with what your limits are, you're going to schedule a time to stop working, to stop cleaning, and to actually sit down and do something that you enjoy. Again, because I work for myself and I love what I do and I work from home, this becomes really hard. And there's these blurred line visions where I'm like, okay, should I just keep pushing so that way I have more time off tomorrow? Or should I stop? Like I said, I'm going to stop and I can rest tonight, finish up tomorrow, and I have my weekend or whatever it is. So it is like this balance, especially working from home. And if you're like a stay-at-home mom who just is at home and doesn't do all the other things, which is totally fine, but you know you have this long list, there should be some type of like order in which you do things to the best of your abilities, because I know kids are kids, but to the best of your abilities to be able to set some time aside for yourself. And because I enjoy what I do, I enjoy being home, so this can consume my thoughts. So I had to like train myself to be like, okay, you need to do a hobby right now. You need to play a game. You need to read a book and not think about what's going on. So that is what I do when I am home. After like 7 p.m., I really try to stop before that, but after 7, I cut everything work related off. I might be on social media, like just looking at other people's stuff or like, you know, actually being a consumer of social media, but I don't go beyond that. I will try to do other things around my home and everything just to make sure that I'm not being too work focused or too into my to-do list and doing this hustle culture stuff. You've now found your limits. You've scheduled a time to be to yourself, to do something that you enjoy, and now you're going to redefine productivity. And what do I mean by redefining productivity? Sometimes this looks like pushing through and hitting everything you have on your to-do list. And then sometimes it's prioritizing your rest. There are times where you could be working or doing something for 13, 14, 15 hours. And you're like, okay, I have like 3 more things on my to-do list. Let me hurry up and try to get these done. No, girl. Stop all work operations and rest. But then there's some times where you can be resting a little too long and you're not doing the things that you should be doing on your priority list or your responsibilities or your job or whatever it is. So make sure, that's why I say you need to know the balance between when you've worked enough to rest and when you've rested enough to work. There's sometimes you have to push through that I don't feel like doing it and do it. But then there's times where it's like, no, girl, take a break, or girl, get up and go work. You just have to redefine the productivity, redefine what that means, because rest can be productive because you're recharging your battery for the next day. I'm someone who definitely thrives off of a good schedule. And when I stopped working a 9-to-5 job, my schedule got so off, and I'm still to this day trying to figure out what schedule works best for me. There's things that I've tried, there's things that I've done that kind of like help structure my day, but for the most part I'm still learning. I'm the one that has to make my own schedule. I'm the one who takes care of my home and like make sure that it's clean and like all of these different things. But between all of these things, rest sometimes can get put as like an option, like, oh, I don't have to rest, let me push through and then I'll sleep in tomorrow, or I'll push through this day working so that way I don't have to do anything the next day, or whatever it is. But rest should not be an option, because we all know God rested on the 7th day. So I'm following his lead, okay? I'm following his lead. So as a girl who loves her job, as somebody who really enjoys what I do, and I literally could just eat, sleep, and breathe content creation, podcasting, and entrepreneurship, there are times where I need to step back and say, okay, what can I do that's even like 5-10 minutes a day, or 10 minutes every couple of hours, that is going to recharge and just like basically almost have like brain off activity. So the first thing that personally I do is coffee. Me and my husband do not own a regular coffee pot. We don't. It's a French press. We have a pour over. We have a stovetop. We do have an espresso machine, but like if I want a cup of coffee, I don't have the option to just turn on a machine and the coffee comes out. It takes me 5-10 minutes to make a full cup of coffee or a latte. And this is a time, like the 5-10 minutes it takes to just have a brain off activity and have fun making my coffee in the morning. In the evening, I am such a, it's like, I call it my evening blackout. I do not like bright white lights. There's nothing worse, and I feel like I've said this on my YouTube channel before, but there's nothing worse than a bright white light when I'm trying to be cozy. It just kills the vibe, and I really try to keep as many lights off as possible. When the sun goes down, so do my lights. Like, I usually really try not to use the lights. I probably should get some of those like LED strips to like make it cool and cozy and like, I don't know, fun. I can't stand it, especially when I'm trying to be cozy. So I really like to have dim lights. I like to light some candles. I like to turn on my fireplace, and that kind of like shows to my body like we're done working. It's time to relax, do whatever you want to do. If it's watching a TV show, right now I'm really into Lost. This is my first time watching Lost. I just watched Gilmore Girls last year for the first time. I actually still have one season left, but I'm kind of like out of the mode of Gilmore Girls right now. So I am watching Lost, and then I like to play my Switch. I like to read. Like, I just like to do fun little things here and there when the lights go off. And then during the day, this is something that you can do no matter what. Having a dog really forces this. Like, having a dog without a yard, I should say, really forces this, because I have to take her out. So like 10 minutes, I'll take her out to use the bathroom, or I'll take her for a longer walk, or I'll take her to the dog park. But just getting outside, there's probably some studies somewhere that tell you like the exact reasons why getting outside is good for you. But for me personally, I just really feel like fresh air just like resets my brain, and I'm like more ready to go when I come back from a walk or come back from being outside. So going outside for just 10 minutes, even when I was working a 9 to 5, no matter what, like if I had a break and I could go out for lunch, I would go to my car. Like, I would go outside, even if that was just to go to my car, just to like get some fresh air, walk outside, and then come back in. Whatever it was, like I was making sure to get some fresh air in throughout the day. And it's really important for me to go outside. I just really like being outside. Not when it's freezing and not when it's too hot, but like when it's like 60s, 50s, 60s, you can catch me outside all day. So now that you know how to balance ambition and rest, now you've seen some examples of how you can rest throughout your day very simply, very easily. Let's talk about how you're going to set some realistic goals for you to keep your motivation going. Motivation without burnout comes down to setting realistic goals. And here's how you're going to do it. So number 1, you're going to break your goals into smaller steps. Instead of saying in 3 months, I want to start a business, you're going to say, okay, what can I do this week to get to that bigger goal? So whether that's looking for suppliers or starting your LLC, you're going to start breaking that down by weeks. Or in the content creation community, we kind of do everything by quarters. So there's Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and quarter 1 is January through March. The first 3 months, you set a goal. And for me, one of my goals for Q1 was to hit 1K on YouTube. And I did, and I was so excited. And I'm able now to see, okay, I hit 1K in Q1. I don't have to have the pressure of trying to get more. This was my goal for this quarter. If I get more, cool. When I go to set my Q2 goals, I'll be able to build off of this instead of being like, I want 1 million subscribers by the end of the year and I need to see it right now, because we'll get burnt out trying to reach for that 1 million goal instead of just being like, let's hit these little goals every couple of weeks or every couple of quarters. It just makes your life a little bit easier. The second thing you're going to do is build in buffer time. Life happens, y'all. We are such a time-based society, and I feel like we always need everything to happen like yesterday. But as a millennial, I truly believe that if we are still alive, you still have time. And that's that. I don't believe that we have to continue to push for this like timeline or age line or whatever it is. It's just, if you want to do it, do it. If you're alive and you want to do it, do it. The last thing that you're going to do is you're going to celebrate the small wins. So like I said, for me, a small win was hitting 1K on YouTube. I have a bigger goal that I want to reach by the end of the year, but because I set that little goal to reach 1K on YouTube, I was able to celebrate in Q1 that I had reached one of my goals, and I didn't have to wait to the end of the year to see that. I was able to see that in January, like even before like the end of the quarter, I was able to see that. So just celebrating those little wins helps you see that the little things are still important, and it's not as overwhelming as waiting for that big goal at the end of the year or at the end of whatever time frame it is. Okay, so we have made it to the end of the episode. That is how we are going to stay motivated without getting burnt out by the end of 2025. I'm going to be working alongside of you on these because, like I've said, I'm not perfect in any of these, and I'm still figuring some things out. I'm still trying to figure out my schedule and all these things. So some days are better than others, but there's grace. So let's check in. What's one thing that you will be changing or doing this week or next week? Since this will be Friday post. So what are you going to do in between now and next Friday that is going to help you stay motivated, rested, and productive? I want to know in the comments. Let me know. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Don't forget to share, comment, like, subscribe, do all the things, push all the buttons, because it really, really helps this channel and now podcast out so much. You can also, in the description, I have a Ko-fi page, and that Ko-fi page supports this channel 100%. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not trying to do anything like too crazy, just letting you guys know you can buy me a coffee down there. But until next time, you guys, stay cozy and warm. It's snowing today where I am, so it's very cold outside, but I will see you next week.